Now, the market regulator has allowed stock exchanges to extend the trading hours in the equity derivatives segment. This paves the way for F&O trading to take place from 9 a.m. to about 11:55 p.m. The new timings can come into effect from as early as October this year. But the exchanges are ready with the infrastructure? That's the question to answer. Remember, it's not the first time that SEBI has allowed the extended trading hours. And joining us on the phone is Mr. Ashishkumar Chauhan, the Chief Executive and Officer and MD at Bombay Stock Exchange. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for taking the time out and speaking with Bloomberg Quint. Now, first question is on SEBI's move to approve the extending trading hours is in line with the global and commodities market. And what is your reaction or the stance on that? And would you use the entire window from 9 a.m. to about 11:55 p.m.? Is that necessary?
Good afternoon. I think it's a welcome move by SEBI. They have taken a long time to discuss with market participants, exchanges and everyone. And they also waited for Indian international exchanges like India International Exchange, which started last year in Gandhinagar city. And it's working. It works 22 hours a day. And it was promoted by BSE. It's a 100% subsidiary of BSE. And it trades 22 hours a day like most international markets would. And so already Indian exchanges have the capabilities to trade in for very, very long hours. 9 to 11:55 p.m. is slightly less than 15 hours, while as already the India International Exchange works for 22 hours. And the brokers are also used to working those 22 hours. On the other side, the commodities markets, which are also now being regulated by SEBI for almost 3 years, are also trading similar time, that is 11:55 p.m. So there is no special sort of situation which can prompt people in saying that the exchanges cannot do it or are not ready, or is it necessary? And necessary is basically about providing in some choice to the investors and also to the members, whether they want to offer those services, whether the client wants to or investors want to use those services at that point in time. It is up to them. So it's more of a choice being given. There is no compulsion to trade. Nobody can actually, in India, nobody can force anyone to trade, right? So that way, it's more of a choice being given, and it's up to the customers and investors to basically figure out whether they would like to trade at that point in time or not.
So based on, Friday, the release came that there would be an allowance of extended trading hours. But after that, did you have any discussion with SEBI and other exchanges about what kind of products will be available for the extended trading hours?
The way we look at it is that equity derivatives have been allowed. Now, equity derivatives as an umbrella or a segment includes stock futures, stock options, index futures, and index options. So whatever is allowed within the equity derivatives will go basically for trading in the longer duration. And equity derivatives is a very well-defined segment on Indian exchanges.
And talking about the feedback, have you received any from the market intermediaries on this move? Now, last time I remember that there was some resistance as the extension was considered for cash segment as well. But this time it's only for the equity derivatives. So any feedback that you've heard from the market?
Yeah, most market participants seem to have welcomed it. Whatever discussions I had, a couple of them also expressed their apprehensions about their inability to invest additional amounts. And so we had to explain to them that how they can reduce the additional marginal cost. Most of them have no marginal cost at all. And some of them who do not trade in commodities or who do not trade in equity derivatives don't even require to actually extend the timings. The people who trade in equity derivatives and do not trade in commodities might have to actually invest in one or two people to run for the additional time. Otherwise, software, hardware, even the premises cost don't change at all because you end up not paying them by hours. And that's where I think the marginal cost could be very, very limited. But the business opportunity it opens up for most brokers is immense. So overall, people are liking it. And whoever has kind of apprehensions, we are talking to them. We will handhold them over next few months and ensure that they are also able to participate and provide similar services to their customers.
While that's very encouraging to hear, Mr. Chauhan, but do you think that the exchanges will be ready with the infrastructure by October in terms of the risk management, surveillance, and the manpower that is required?
As I told you, basically India International Exchange, which is promoted by BSE, works 22 hours a day, whereas what is being proposed currently is only 15 hours. So in effect, BSE promoted exchange is doing trading, clearing, settlement, risk management, margining, everything on 22-hour cycle in a day. So effectively, BSE is pretty much fully ready. On the other side, commodities markets in India have been running till 11:55 p.m. for now more than 15 years. And they also seem to have no problem at all. Although Indian stock markets are considered better equipped compared to commodities markets, even commodities markets, which are considered less equipped, also have been doing much longer hours. So you shouldn't have that kind of apprehensions about the market sort of not being able to be ready for risk management or other infrastructural issues.
Mr. Chauhan, let's have a little bit more conversation on the cost and the infrastructure aspect. Now, do you think that this move will be cost effective, as the increase in trading hours would involve additional cost, of course, for the exchanges? And do you foresee substantial jump in volumes to take care of the additional costs that will be incurred?
See, the way we look at it is basically that this move is in line with bringing Indian markets in line with the international markets and providing additional services and additional choices to Indian investors. So in that, it's a noble cause. Why Indian investors should be deprived of trading opportunities when there are news that may happen anytime during the day, not only when the market is on. And that is the perspective, because the foreign investors are able to trade in Indian products when Indian news actually break. And Indian investors are deprived of because the exchanges decided not to keep it open. Now that the exchange have been given the sort of authority or permission to trade longer hours, it would be against the investors' interest to not keep the markets open for longer duration.
And would this require any tweaking with the current pre-open timings if the equity derivative segment opens at 9 a.m.?
Yeah, currently, basically, we do not see too much of a difference between what is happening today and what will happen post-October 1.
And last question on the commodities derivatives front. Can you give us a sense of which products will be available effective 1st October? And have you also tied up with any of the foreign exchanges for such products?
See, BSE has applied for non-agri commodities. That includes precious metal, the base metals, and also energy products to SEBI for allowing it to trade from October 1. And in terms of tying up with foreign exchanges, BSE has been in talk. In fact, in the GIFT City India International Exchange, BSE already trades on the foreign exchange sort of prices and so on and so forth. So BSE already has tied up for India International Exchange. But in case required for additional tie-ups, BSE is more than sort of ready to do it.
Thank you, Mr. Chauhan, for taking us through those details. All the best for the future. Well, that was Mr. Ashishkumar Chauhan, MD and CEO of Bombay Stock Exchange, giving his views on the extension of trading hours, saying that it's a most welcome move by most of the market participants. Thanks for tuning into Bloomberg Quint.